Okay, so today's a good one. We picked 6 of the best super nakeds you can actually go buy right now. And I didn't want to do this one alone.
Smart. Somebody's got to keep you honest.
If you caught the episode where she made it to MotoGP Silverstone this year, you know she's not just here to look good. Each of us picked 3 bikes, no ranking, no arguing about who's number 1.
These are just, in our opinion, the best bikes anyone can actually buy today.
Ladies first, what's your first pick?
Drum roll. My first pick is the Beast. So here's why I picked this one. A 1350cc V-twin, 190 horsepower, over 100 pound-feet of torque. The last big twin standing in a class that's gone almost all 4-cylinder. In the city, it's weirdly polite, smooth throttle, almost sensible. Then you crack it open past half throttle, and the whole personality flips to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. No exaggeration. They even built in wheelie control up to 22 degrees, because at this torque, the front end coming up isn't an if, it's a when. Semi-active suspension reading the road in real time. Brembo brakes up front to actually rein in all that violence. A 6-axis inertial sensor keeping the electronics honest. All in at $22,149, which, compared to a BMW M1000R or a Ducati Streetfighter V4 with similar options, makes this thing the bargain of the whole lineup. At that price, yeah, I'm not sorry.
That right there feels like a ticket magnet.
Guaranteed fun on 2 wheels. Okay, your turn.
Mine gets into just as much trouble, it just has better manners about it. Speed triple, 1200 RS.
All right, so mine's not a V-twin brawler, it's a triple. 1160cc inline 3, and honestly, that's the secret weapon here. 180 horsepower, 94 pound-feet of torque, but it delivers all of it smooth, linear, controlled, right up until you ask for more, and it just keeps giving. Fully adjustable electronic suspension, front and rear, constantly recalculating itself corner to corner. Brembo Stylema brakes, the same ones you'd find on an actual superbike. Race-spec Pirelli rubber front and rear, the same tires you'd see on a track day, not a commuter. 5 ride modes, front wheel lift control if you still want to have some fun with it. But the chassis underneath all of it is just sharper, more planted, more connected. It doesn't fight you, it works with you. $20,000, which is genuinely less than what Sophie's bike costs. So yeah, same kind of trouble. Cheaper ticket and better manners while you're getting it.
So, round 1 is for the books, and it's up to you to pick your favorite in the comments. Round 2, let's go.
My next pick needs a real introduction because nobody's seen anything like it yet. It's the MV Agusta Brutale 1000 RR. And look, this thing isn't about manners, it's about looks. Inline 4, 998cc, revving all the way to 208 horsepower up top. That's an absurd number for something with handlebars. Torque comes in lower than the others, but it doesn't need it. This engine just wants to scream. They even added aero winglets, claiming a top speed north of 186 miles an hour. They're calling it aerodynamics. I just call it Italian. Fully adjustable electronic suspension, big Brembo brakes, an exposed steel frame you can actually see with that signature single-sided swing arm. At 410 pounds dry, it's basically just engine and attitude. And at $32,000, it's not exactly apologizing for it. I told you it just wants to be looked at.
Sticking with the inline 4, funny enough. But mine's not about looks. Mine's about lap times. BMW M1000R.
All right, mine's another inline 4, but this one's got a completely different job. BMW pulled this engine straight from their own superbike, then reworked it for a naked. 205 horsepower, 83 pound-feet of torque, revving out to 14,600. Top speed, 174 miles an hour. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. That's supercar territory on something with no doors. They even bolted on winglets because apparently that's just what everyone's doing this year. Fully adjustable suspension, forged wheels, 4 piston brakes up front, and enough electronics to make sure all that power actually goes somewhere useful. At 438 pounds ready to ride, it's not delicate, but it is precise. Base price lands around $22,000, but load up the M package options and you're closer to 30. This isn't the bike that wants attention. This is the bike that wants to win. and it usually does.
All right, into the last round, and I think we are jumping into the V4 configuration.
My next pick doesn't need an introduction. This brand rolled MotoGP from 2022 to 2025 basically without competition, the Ducati Streetfighter V4. Okay, so this is basically a super bike that lost its bodywork. 1103cc V4, 205 horsepower, 88.3 pound-feet of torque. And it doesn't get that number from being big. It gets there by revving to 12,650. This is the same engine family that's been winning actual championships. Fully adjustable electronic suspension, front and rear. An actual steering damper that adjusts itself mid-corner. Forged wheels to keep the unsprung weight down. At 417 pounds without fuel, this thing is basically a race bike wearing a leather jacket instead of a race suit. The V4S version runs up toward 33,000, while the standard V4 starts closer to 24,500. Either way, for what's essentially a race bike you can ride to work, that's not even close to unreasonable. It's a genuinely way to own a piece of Ducati's World Superbike program.
I have to admit, that's an amazing bike. But in 2026, there's a new manufacturer reigning MotoGP, more wins than any other brand right now. And this last one's personal. I owned one of these and still my favorite bike up to date, Aprilia Tuono V4.
Okay, I'm biased on this one. I'll just say that up front. 1199cc V4, 178 horsepower, 89 pound-feet of torque, and every part of that engine traces straight back to their World Superbike program. This isn't a naked bike with a sporty engine bolted in, it's the actual race bike's DNA, just uncovered. Semi-active suspension front and rear, Brembo radial brakes, and a rider aid system so detailed you can adjust traction, wheelie control, even suspension damping corner by corner on an actual racetrack. At 465 pounds, it's light enough to actually flick through switchbacks, not just point and shoot in a straight line. Around $19,600 for the factory trim. I've ridden a lot of bikes since I sold mine. None of them made me miss it less. If anything, riding the others just reminded me why I bought this one in the first place.
Okay, 6 bikes down, and somehow we're both still standing.
We didn't get to everyone though. The MT10, the ZH2, the GSXS, all monsters, all deserve a seat.
Maybe that's round 2. Tell us your winner down in the comments, and yeah, hit like if you want more of this. That's genuinely what makes the difference.
Same room,
Same chairs.
new bikes.
See you next round.